So I totally forgot to film a intro, so I just pretty much just jumped right on into the video. So I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so to start off with my, like, I guess skincare part or skincare prep of my makeup routine. So I do go between these two to prep my skin. So I either use the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, which I'm pretty sure you guys have all seen this one before, or I do the Fab First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Oil Control Moisturizer. And the reason why is because I like more of a matte finish. So obviously it's for oil control, so it's going to go ahead and give you more like of that matte look. But for the most part, I always lean towards getting this one. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with this. Sometimes what I was doing for a little bit, where I kind of stopped, was I was using the e.l.f. Vitamin C Serum. So this is kind of like of a droplet, and I kind of just put that on my face before I put my moisturizer. But for the most part, I always go in just with my moisturizer. And again, my skin type, I don't have dry or oily skin. It's more on the like normal. So again, all these products that I am going to be using is what works for my skin type. Again, not everybody is going to have the same skin type as me. But once you can see and once you know what kind of skin type you have, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get products. And while that is soaking into my skin, I'm going to show you 3 of the primers that I do use, but I am going to tell you which one I have been using like non-stop. So the first one that I did get like put on with, you know, TikTok videos and stuff like that was the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Again, I'm pretty sure you guys have all seen this one. Everybody was raving about this one, and I love this one. So I've used that much. Again, I do my makeup every day, but you don't really need a lot because the little goes a long way with this one. And I really do like that one. That one is more like, it's like a little bit thicker. I'm going to put a little bit right there so you guys can see. Compared to like the other one that I'm going to use, as you guys can see, it does give it more of like that sticky kind of feel to make sure that your makeup's going to go ahead and grab onto it. And then the next one that I did see TikToks about, that I went out to go get it, because again, I seen really good reviews about it, was the Milk, what is it called? The Milk Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer. Again, I am more of a matte type of girl. I don't like looking dewy. I don't like looking like oily. I love looking matte because I feel like it just looks more like flawless and like airbrushed. So that's why I go more towards like matte products. So I did pick this one up. I don't really use this one, but this one is more like of a white color. It's not as thick as the Milk Hydro Grip, as you guys can see. But this one feels like when you're rubbing into your hands, it kind of feels like it turns into powder after, if that makes sense. And then the last primer that I switch off between these 3, but I've been going to non-stop, and I use this one like on a day-to-day basis. Smashbox Original Photo Finish Smooth and Blur Primer. This one has been out for years. I actually used to use this one back when like the packaging was different, when it was like the clear. But I actually watched this girl on YouTube, and her makeup is always so nice, and she said that she uses this primer. So I put myself on again, and I started using it, and I love it. So I am going to use this one today. And this one is more like of a silicone based primer. So this one is clear, but it's more like of a silicone. So I am going to get that. And I kind of focus it on this area here, wherever I want to look like the most kind of like matte and airbrush. And again, to fill in like any pores that I have. So I mainly focus the product here. And then everywhere else, whatever I have left on my fingers, then I will apply to like the T-zone area of my face. And already just putting it on, it feels so smooth. And again, what I like to do is every time I put my products in, I like to wait a little bit before I put on my foundation, just so that way my skin is really absorbing all of the products that I'm putting on. And it's not kind of like sliding everywhere. And I think that's the key, is making sure that, you know, when you're putting your products on, that you're making sure that they're setting into your skin. Because there's no point of you putting moisturizer and primer back to back and then foundation, and your skin, there's nothing like holding on to your skin. So you have to really make sure that you're letting it kind of like penetrate, I guess, into your skin. And you can kind of like pat it in. You can feel as well. Like you can feel as you're rubbing it in, as you're patting it in, you can feel like the product is going in. So normally what I would do is I would do this first and then my eyebrows. That way by the time I'm done with my eyebrows, the products have set into my skin. But I obviously did my eyebrows to save time. So I'm just going to wait until this sets into my skin. And then for foundation, I have been using this foundation for a while as well. I had ran out and then I had went out and bought like different foundations. I like trying different foundations just to see if there's one maybe that looks a little bit better. But I always find myself that I went back to this one because of the finish of it, the coverage of it, all of that. So the foundation that I have been using for a while now is the Too Faced Born This Way Matte. So it looks like this. The other one is just obviously regular, but again, I'm more of a matte kind of girl, so I do lean towards this one a lot. And I am in the shade Golden Beige. I think I need to get like a shade lighter because I do notice that when I set my face, it does tend to get a little bit darker with the oxidizing and all of that. But I absolutely love this foundation. I like the coverage of it. I like the finish of it. You can obviously build it up if you want more of a like a fuller coverage. I'm literally like running out, so I'm hoping that I can get as much product. And what I started doing was I started getting like a brush and applying it like this first, rather than just putting the pumps on my hand and then going in with my beauty blender. I feel like for some reason I get more coverage when I do this, because I'm kind of like spreading it out and giving it that layer initially, rather than just pumping it on my hand and I'm getting it, and then by the time I'm going to blend it, my beauty blender took up all that product. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense, but so now that I have that like that, then I go in with my beauty blender and I just start blending that out. But you can see right away the coverage that has. Okay, so I didn't realize that my mic wasn't connected when I was doing my concealer. So I'm gonna go ahead and just obviously explain what I did. So I pretty much just got my Tarte Shape Tape Ultra Creamy Concealer in the shade Light Sand, and I went ahead and I just applied it to this area here and then down my nose, and I just went ahead and blended that out just like you would normally do concealer. So now moving on to the setting of the under eye to kind of make it look nice and airbrushed. I start off with a pressed powder, so I'm gonna go in with the Matte Fit Me Matte and Poreless powder in 120. So this is the shade that I use, and I was applying it with a brush, but I felt like it applied a lot nicer with a powder puff. So I just get that, and I just get a little bit, and I just literally tap that and set under my eye. I seen this little trend on TikTok of girls like getting like a really nice airbrushed under eye, but they were going in with more like of a finishing powder, which I need to get my hands on to see if that kind of like helps. But I'm not sure if you guys can see already instantly how that went ahead and like it mattified it. So I kind of just do a little bit of that because I still go in with a translucent powder. So the one that I'm going to use is the Laura Mercier Ultra setting. No, it's the translucent loose setting powder Ultra Blur, and I do obviously use just the shade translucent. I was using the other one, which I kind of don't see like a difference in like the Ultra Blur or like the regular one, but I kind of just get about this much. Again, if you guys have been watching me for a while, you guys know that I don't necessarily like bake, so I kind of just start off by applying it under my eyes on both eyes, and again bringing it down my nose like here, and then down my nose, applying it to my smile lines, and then I just go in right away and start blending that in just to kind of mesh everything together. I don't like really letting it sit on my face and then like dusting it off. I used to do that, but I feel like I like the finish of doing this better. So I'll just do that, and then I'll just get a little bit more, and I'll set my entire face. Now moving on to bronzer, I'm going to go in with my Jaclyn Hill pressed powder in the shade Tanlines. it broke, but I'm kind of like almost done with it. I absolutely love this shade and the bronzer and the finish of it and all of that. So I'm just going to take a Morphe kind of like angled brush. I believe it's the E3. So I kind of just take that and I kind of tap it. And what I started doing was I kind of tap and like drag. So I'm tapping and dragging, tapping and dragging. So, but I'm putting the product up. Rather than swiping, I'm kind of, again, tapping and kind of pulling it up. So just like that. Again. I found like it applies a lot better when you kind of tap rather than you're swiping, because I feel like you're kind of moving that product and you're not putting it on where it needs to go because you're moving it around. Again here. And then I will like just lightly do like little circular motions, just a little bit. Okay, just like that. And then I'm gonna like kind of take it and squeeze it, and then I just slightly run it across or up and down from my nose again, just to kind of bring that little nose contour back. Nothing too crazy. And then for my blush, again, the blush obviously just depends on which one, but for today I'm going to use my KKW Beauty blush in Honey Pot. I'm going to take this Morphe X Jaclyn Hill JH04 brush. Again, it's another angled brush, and I kind of just get my powder and I started applying it kind of to here. I will apply it here, but I kind of apply it kind of higher up. So again, tapping, tap, 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 tap. I used to like drag it, but now I feel like my products sit a lot better when I just tap it like this. So you guys can see it's sitting right above that bronzer, but it's kind of like meshing with it. So like this. And then I will just apply just a little bit to like the apples of my cheeks, but I tend to focus it now more up here. And literally doing this makeup routine will literally, it lasts me so long. I get up for work about at 7 o'clock and I'll do my routine like I am now, and it'll literally last me till the end of the day. I do like tend to get a little bit oily in some areas, depending if I use like a different primer that day. But other than that, like it's not cracking anywhere, none of that. Okay, so then for the final part and finish off of the whole face, I'm going to do just a little bit of highlight. So I'm going to take my Ofra Cosmetics highlighter in Rodeo Drive, and then again, I get it and I tap like so. Again, tap, 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 a little bit on my nose, and that's it. I like more of a matte finish, so I don't like putting too much highlighter. So then to finish everything off, I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, and I'm just going to spray that all over my face. I don't like getting my hair wet because it's straightened, but and if I'm being completely honest, I don't always use this, but I feel like it does help just with the longevity of the makeup. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off everything else. I'm going to put lashes, lip gloss, all of that, and I will be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished off everything. I put on my lashes, my lips for my lip combo. Today I use the KKW Beauty Lip Liner in Honey 3. And then on top of that, I use the Dose of Colors Liquid Lip in the shade Cozy. And then for a little gloss, I use the Batty B gloss in the shade Skin, I believe it is. And that is how I got this pretty nude lip. So that is pretty much it for my entire kind of 24-hour makeup routine. Not a lot has changed, I guess, as far as like technique a little bit. I added one product, which is like the under eye little trick that I showed you guys, but this is the routine that I do every single time I do my makeup, and it lasts me so long. I don't necessarily touch up my makeup at all. Actually, I don't even touch it up at all. I don't take like my makeup with me to work or any of that because it holds up so good throughout the day. But this is what my skin is looking like. So I really suggest you kind of take some tips and tricks or some of the products that I did use. Again, not everybody has the same skin type as me, so some of the products might not work for you, but you guys can kind of like tweak it to your own liking depending on what your skin type is. But I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you guys are not already. And that is all I have to say, and I will see you guys on the next one.